What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today I'm doing another video as part of my back to school series, and this one is going to be advice. Sorry, my cat's meowing. This one is going to be advice for freshmen thinking about going down the pre-med path. So if you're thinking about going to medical school and you're a freshman, I definitely have some tips for you. I came into college thinking I was pre-med, and same with like every single one of my friends, and now I'm pre-dental now, so like I still took all the same classes, so like I still know the process and everything and went through it myself, but there's definitely things I wish I would have known and things I would have changed if I knew this beforehand. So this advice also goes for pre-dental, since I am pre-dental, and if I have any, people who are thinking about dentistry, please let me know in the comments below and I can answer some questions for you guys, make a video specifically about that and how I decided that and all that. So here are just some of my best tips for freshmen thinking about it so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. So my first tip, and probably the most important, is if you're at all thinking about being pre-med, like whatsoever, just like start taking the science classes. Like first semester, take the chemistry class, take Chem 101, whatever you need to take a bio class, because I know so many people who have decided to be pre-med, like they were thinking about it and they decided to end up being pre-med like starting like end of sophomore year, and it is just like way too hard to get all the classes in. Like think about it, you're taking a hard science class that requires a lot of study time, probably has like a 3-hour lab every week, probably has a discussion section, and it's just too hard to get all of those classes done within like 2 years. And if you decide too late, you're gonna have to start doing summer classes, which like you want to be doing like actual like things that are giving you experience during the summer. So if you're thinking about it at all, just start taking a science class. Like the worst thing that's gonna happen is like maybe it'll affect your GPA poorly, but like if you're not going into medicine anyway, like no one's gonna care. And also, if anything, you just get like a good like class experience. People will look at your classes and see that you challenge yourself by taking a hard science class, or you learned that that's not what you wanted to do. Also, there are always like science GEs you need to take, and that would fill some too. So if you're thinking about it, just start taking them right away, because trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Even if you're just starting out as a freshman, it's a good idea to look at the schools you think that you might want to apply to. Like if you're like my case, if you're from California and you want to go back to California for medical school because the state schools are cheaper, go look at their required classes, because at least for dental school, every school is like a little different in their requirements, and I just took the required classes that are needed for California schools, mostly for dental schools, and because of that I wasn't able to apply to a lot of other schools in other states because they required different courses. So definitely you're helping yourself out if you know which classes that you need right from the get-go. And then you won't be stressed like your senior year being like, I really want to go to the school, but I haven't taken like these 3 classes. So your pre-med like advisors should help you like, with the basic classes, but every school like it's like a little different. So it's just helpful to know that in advance. It's really helpful to make a course planning sheet. So I have one in my Google Docs, I'll show you, I'll insert a little clip. And I put every semester that I'm taking classes, and then I have a list of like color-coded things like classes I need for my major, classes I need for pre-med or pre-dental, then classes I need for GEs, and then I try to fit every single one in so that this helps you from being able to graduate on time, being able to complete your major, being able to get all your courses for your pre-med requirements. And it's just, honestly, it reduces a lot of stress to just look at that list and be like, okay, these are the classes I need to take, like it's not gonna be that bad, I'm gonna get it finished. And it's just helped me out so much to have that list, and every time you go and do your like course selection or like registration for the semester, you just look at that list and be like, okay, I need, a humanities class here, I need an English class here, I need to take Orgo 2, that kind of thing. So that's just been very helpful for me. The next thing is to take some smaller science classes that are like, less than 30 people kind of thing, or take multiple classes with one professor, because you're going to need letters of rec for medical schools. And if you need that, you need a professor who actually like knows you. And I really struggled with this because I'm not a science major, I'm a psychology major, but I've taken all the prerequisite classes for my pre-dental. But because of that, a lot of schools require one letter from a chemistry professor and one letter from like a bio or physics. And because I'd only taken large lecture classes with like 200 plus people, and I'm not an office hours girl. Like, I just don't get anything out of it. I never really got to know my professors very well, and I actually had a professor tell me they only write letters of rec for people that have been in their class at least twice. So definitely, if you can, take at least, you know, a small science class so that the teacher can get to know you better, or take multiple classes with one professor and make an effort to get to know them, because that'll really pay off when it comes for asking for letters of rec, because 1, they'll say yes to it, and 2, it'll be like an actual meaningful letter. The next thing I recommend is to start doing some volunteering and shadowing early on. A lot of schools will actually require you to have a certain amount of shadowing hours. Some schools require you to have volunteering hours, but it's mostly just like recommended and they like to see it on your application. But at least for dental schools, a lot of them require like at least like 50 hours of shadowing. So it's best not to leave that to the end, because then you could get stressed and be like, I don't have all my shadowing hours, and you don't want to like lie on your application or, you know, be disqualified just because you don't have all the hours. So it's best to just start early, you know, like maybe like you find a local dentist local dentist, this could also be for pre-dental. Find like a local like doctor in the area or at the hospital at the school you go at, and try to shadow them. We also have like a platform where the pre-meds can shadow like Duke hospital doctors, and yeah, just start that early on. Start, you know, your freshman year, do it during the summer. I know this summer I actually applied to dental school. I shadowed every single Friday, and that was just very helpful for me, because you just get so many hours. Like after just a few weeks, you're already at that 50-hour mark. So if you can, you know, work out a schedule with like whatever job you're doing during the summer where you can shadow once a week, that just gets all your shadowing hours right out of the way. And it's also best to shadow multiple specialties, multiple doctors, and then multiple like kinds of clinics. Like you can shadow private practice, you can shadow like a public health clinic, and that gives you that like scope of like different environments you could possibly work in, which is a great thing to talk about during interviews. Also, when you're shadowing, really think about like, you know, could you see yourself doing this? Like, is this something you'd want to do? Ask the doctor, like, you know, do you like your job? Like, do you like, what kind of schedule is it like? You know, because some surgeons are literally working 80 hours a week. Like, if you are the type of person who, you know, wants to have a family and wants to have a life, like, think about if that's possible for you, because there's definitely different specialties of medicine that you could go into, or different careers in general. Like, there's a lot of different ways to help people other than just being like a medical doctor. And lastly, think about if you're going to take a gap year or not. I know when I was pre-med, I was going to take a gap year because I couldn't have gotten all my classes in like a doable schedule for me before I graduated. So no, before I took the MCAT. But it's changed since I'm pre-dental. I'm no longer taking a gap year. But if you don't want to take a gap year, you have to apply before your senior year. So you need to have your MCAT already done, which means you need to have already taken all of your classes, or you need to like study extra hard for those classes you like haven't taken yet. The DAT was a little different for me because there's no physics on the exam, so I could take the test. I took the test last year after my sophomore year because I was already done with all the chemistry and bio like requirements. So like I already had an idea of like what was going to be on the test, so it wasn't an issue for me. But a lot of people are taking gap years or multiple gap years just because medical school is just so strenuous. It's a good idea to just be prepared and like have some time to like, you know, not be in school for a while before that. And it just also gives you a less stressful like college schedule while you're in college. Like if you don't take a gap year, maybe you have to take like chemistry and physics in the same semester, which would be kind of rough. Like I personally like to dedicate all my time to like the science class I'm in that semester and not like overload it too much and like be overwhelmed. So those are all the tips I have for you guys. If you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments below. I was also thinking about making a video on, you know, reasons to not be pre-med and reasons that, you know, maybe like medicine might not be for you, and how to kind of figure that out for yourself, because I mean, I'm not the only one who, you know, is no longer pre-med. Like I had 5 friends who were all pre-med at the beginning of my freshman year, and now only one of us is. It's good to figure out before, you know, you get too far into it and you're already in medical school and you're like, wait, I hate this. So yeah, hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more, you know, college related videos, do some fashion videos. We do a lot of stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed. I've said that like 3 times. This is an issue I have with closing videos. Okay, well, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!